spring break is kind of a rite of passage in America. In some ways, it's metaphorical in the film. I feel like the girls and Franco's character are kind of, are compelling in that way of this culture, of that culture. Like these girls are also of this culture and of this world, and there's a lot of meaning in them doing the film, and to them doing the film, and it was exciting for me. It was kind of like, in some ways, when I was conceptualizing the movie, when I was thinking it up and talking about who could play these characters, it was just like a fantasy or something to have these girls be a part of it, and so obviously I was super excited when they agreed. Yeah, I wanted to make a film. I'd been working in my mind. I'd been trying to develop this style for a while, or this idea of motion and liquid narrative. I wanted to make a film that had very little dialogue, that was more sensory, that was more like something as an experience that you felt, that kind of went through you. And I wanted it to be almost like an attack of sounds and images. And in some ways it was meant to be like a pop poem or something, like using both high and low and having them coalesce and collide. And so it's about girl empowerment, but it's also about kids it's about a new generation. This idea that of the soul, that there's no soul, it's not, with the new generation, it's not true. That's just the soul is morphed. It's become something else. It's a new idea. It's a new vision. It's about kids that are raised on video games and raised on YouTube clips and raised television babies. And so the step from watching and viewing to doing is sometimes very, very small. And so in some ways also they represent that kind of, that idea. 2 years ago, I had a picture, an image of in my mind of like girls in bikinis and ski masks robbing fat tourists, and or just tourists on the beach, just walking down the shoreline with guns. And I liked the image. It seemed to be, there was something kind of iconic about it, and so I just started trying to build a story or narrative around the picture. So I was thinking, if these girls existed, where would they exist? How would they exist? Where would that come from? And then I started to think about girls in bikinis and spring break. And then I started collecting lots of images of spring break. And then I started building a story that way, based on an image. Yeah, I wrote the script during spring break. There were kids puking on my door, fucking in the hallways, lighting shit on fire. There were midgets having sex in chandeliers. I found a jawbone in a carpet. It was pretty crazy. It was like a dog's job. Look, you make movies. You want to make something beautiful. You want to make something truth. You want to make something that lasts. Trying to make an amazing movie with characters that you remember forever. And I put it all out there. I give it my all. I can never, and I never have been able to make movies for everyone. I make a very specific type of film. At the same time, this movie, it says a lot and it says nothing. I have nothing to prove. The movie has nothing to prove. The thing is that it's meant to be about surfaces. The culture is about surfaces. It's meant to be like candy. And so if it makes people angry, that's fine. If people love it, that's great. There's no right or wrong way to interpret this film or anything that I do. It's all just perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't live in fear of what this person's going to say or this person's going to be offended. I try to make the greatest films I can make. I try to make things that are substantial and beautiful and affect people. And I hope it works out that way. All the gangster stuff, a lot of it came from Gucci Man, the guy that played Archie, the Alien's rival. Gucci is just is a rapper from Atlanta, and it's like a hero of mine. And I asked him, he was in prison when I called him and asked him to play this part. And he said, yeah, as soon as he gets out, he would love to do it. And I said, don't reoffend. And he didn't. So a lot of those people were his crew, his posse, and like we were shooting in, you try to make things as authentic as possible. You shoot in places that really exist, and a lot of times the places have people there, and then they are part of the location. So I don't know. I spend a lot of time beforehand prepping and hang out with people and getting to understand the ambience, and this was super important. The tone of the place. The movie is a lot about a feeling, and so yeah, a lot of the I think the gangsters were just gangsters. They're gonna love this shit. All those Disney fans.